All aboard to the California State Railroad Museum, where you can get to see live and in color little pieces of history restored.
Ashley Williams is there with all the details.
This is the coolest story, but right behind me, Locomotive number 9, guys. This thing was decommissioned back in 1929. A big group, which we'll get to, restored it, and now it is at the California State Railroad Museum, only for a limited amount of time. But gosh, this museum is incredible. You walk in, you see all these locomotives, and your jaw really does drop. And there's so much history behind it. I want to bring in the museum director, Dr. Ty Smith. Good to see you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Of course. So much history behind Locomotive number 9, or number 9 locomotive, whichever way you want to phrase it. Let's just get started. How did this all come about?
Well, all of this happened. The museum, everything in it happened because people cared. Yeah. They cared enough about something that existed as a scrap heap or a pile of rusty metal, and they wanted to redeem it. They wanted to refashion it to give us a sense of what it was like in the past. So this group, Friends of Number 9, got together. They put all of their energy, money, heart, soul into redeeming the number 9, which was a locomotive that ran on the Mount Tamalpais Scenic Railway.
Yeah, and on top of that, it ran on the crookedest railroad in the world. That is no longer in existence either. But what was so special about this particular locomotive?
Well, it was a logging locomotive, and it was designed then to go up into tight spaces up on mountains. And the Mount Tamalpais Scenic Railway had to go basically from sea level to very high up in about an 8-mile distance. So you're talking about 7% grades, and it's a huge engineering challenge. So the way they did that was they created this double bow knot and all this twisty, winding road that got people up to the top. Yeah. And once they did, they were rewarded with the most spectacular views of the Bay Area.
And when you talk about the history of California, but even Northern California, that railroad in Marin.
And really it was a refuge, because people were living in San Francisco and they were watching a growing San Francisco, and there was a lot of urban anxiety. You know, this is the time of John Muir writing about the wilderness and the loss thereof. Yeah. And people are living in the cities and they wanted to resort to these places. So it was really the flowering moment of parks. Yeah. That served as islands of hope and places of refuge to get away from the city. And even though they were looking back down on it, they were able to get out into nature.
I want to kind of walk in this direction, because when you do come to the museum to check this locomotive out, you can learn some more information. You have this great video display on the wall breaking down the history. What goes into restoring something like this?
Well, there's a lot of knowledge. There's not a lot of people sitting around who know how to restore a steam locomotive. Yeah. And so there's a little bit of redemption of knowledge that needs to happen to put it in place. In this case, 2 boat builders from Sebastopol took the same skills that they were employing to restore cars and boats, and said, we can do that. Yeah. And with a lot of help and a lot of assistance with people who are doing this kind of restoration work, bit by bit, bolt by bolt, yeah, they put it back together and made it shine again.
It's so cool. Again, Locomotive number 9 at the California State Railroad Museum. Come learn your history. Again, this was decommissioned back in 1929, and then all these years later, someone said, let's pull this together, and it's on display until January. So you do have a little bit of time, right? Yeah. We'll make sure everything is linked to the website, gooddaysacramento.com. Dr. Ty Smith, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for being here.
We'll toss it back over to you.
Thanks, Ash.
I'm telling you, that dude is fascinating to talk to. He knows stuff.
All the things.
Oh, such a good dude.